think about a week or so into our talking and communications, he asked me if I was going to marry him, and I said yes. I thought I was going to have to battle with my parents. We decided to get married years ago, before the whole relationship even started. So my father was like, you cannot marry this man. I've already done my eyebrows too, but hi guys. So I'm actually preparing to shoot a video, but then I'm doing my makeup, and I said let me also use this opportunity to film like a get ready with me, where I also get to tell you guys a story, an interesting story about my life, and how patience, prayer, and everything just worked for me and clicked together at a certain where God just showed up for me in a time of my life where I wanted him to, but I was not expecting him to show up. Anyways, so as you guys know, I am recently engaged and traditionally married. So that happened not too long ago. So now just trying to think of what next, how to move on, wedding plans and all those things. Just those things are just what is in front right now. But yeah, so let me tell you guys this story. It started in 2022. At the beginning of the year, I made a silent prayer to God, and I told God that this year I wanted to meet the person I was going to get married to. But it was not a prayer that I was very confident about, because at that point in my life, I felt I was settled. I finished medical school, got my license, I was working, everything was just okay for me. And I felt this would be a good time to actually meet somebody that I would want to get married to. And it's not like I was planning to get married then, but I just wanted to meet the person because I wanted us to start getting to know each other, start growing together, and just get all the get to know me and all of those out of the way. And during that period, I also wanted, because I felt like I was in a life defining moment of my life whereby whatever decision I make next, I had a lot of big decisions I needed to make next. So I wanted to also meet the person I would marry as well, so that we can start aligning our lives together. I don't know if you understand. That's just what I wanted. At least so that I will not have to worry about husband or boyfriend again, because I already had one somewhere. That's what's the back of my mind. And when I actually prayed that prayer to God, it was just, maybe he will answer, maybe he will not answer. But I didn't know what was going to happen. So I think throughout that year, I actually thought that I continued my work. That was my house job year. If you know house job in Nigeria, that's your first year of being a doctor, and it can be very, very stressful. But I was very intentional about going out, meeting people, and I tried to, put the whole thing in my own hand. Like, anybody that I meet or I start talking to, I'll, start to ask or tell myself, is he the one? Is he the one? And just things like that. That's what I started to do, and it wasn't working out for me. That did not work out for me. But it continued that way. I went on a couple of dates, met a couple of people, but nothing clicked. I was always trying to compare them with my list, the list that I had created of how I wanted who I was going to marry to be, what he should have, where he should be from, and all of those. So towards the end of the year, that did not work out. I had come to the conclusion that did not work out, and I had already started to give up. Then I met. Did I meet? Yeah. Then I met my husband, or he met me, because I did not meet him. He met me. He was somebody that I had already known. I'd already known before, but I had just known him professionally, nothing serious. And then when he approached me, and I thought that was very, very strange. that he was approaching me, because he's someone that I already knew, and there was no interest, there was no sign of anything. But when he approached me, we decided to, I don't know why I was open to it, because honestly at that point I had even given up. But when he approached me, I liked the way he approached me. That's it. I liked the way he approached me. He was very straightforward, very open about what he wanted. He was not trying to play games, very intentional. In fact, I think he just wooed me in a way that I wanted to be wooed. Let me put it that way. So during that period of my life, I was really suffering because I was doing my house job. I had lost weight. I was not eating. Oh God, I was at the worst place of my life. See, that year, that was a very terrible year for me. I was at the worst place of my life. So when I met him during that period, he was so concerned about my weight loss, about me not eating, how I was faring. And then I was really just struggling, and he decided to, it was just one random day, he asked me, oh, have I eaten? And I was like, I've not eaten. Then he said, okay. And then he ordered me food. No, food is the way to a woman's heart also. He ordered me food while I was at work. And it was very shocking to me, because it's normal for people to ask you, oh, have you eaten? Or are you hungry? And when you say no, just be like, okay, just try and get something to eat. But it was different. He got me food to eat. He didn't even get to see me that day, because I went to see somebody else in the hospital. He didn't get to see me. So he just kept the food somewhere in the hospital for me to go pick it up. And then we started talking over the phone, having conversations. I think we spent the first 3 days and 3 nights just talking on the phone. Talking, getting to know each other, getting to know our stories, how we got to where we are, why. I ask a lot of questions, and I do a lot of talking. I'm someone that I do not mind talking from, and luckily for me, he was also the same. He did not mind talking. So after work, we would spend time talking from maybe 8 p.m. at night over the phone till 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning of the next day. Yes, we have work to go to. That was so funny. But we were just talking and talking and getting to know each other during that period. I think we had some very deep conversations, long conversations, and we truly got to know each other to a very good extent. I mean, I noticed he was very transparent, he was very open, which I really loved and admired during that period. I remember I said I'd given up in the whole finding my husband or whatever prayer. I mean, I just thought, well, my time is not God's time. Because I wanted it that year does not mean God will make it happen that year. So I just given up. Oh, I don't know, there was just something about him that gave me so much peace. Yeah, there was something about him that gave me so much peace in that, during the time we were communicating. I have been in relationships in the past, but that particular one was just, I felt so much peace, so much calm, so much, this is it. I didn't even have to go and pick up my list to think, oh, is this what I want? Does he have this? Does he have that? I didn't have to pick my list for anything. Everything just aligned. There's a certain peace of mind that you will feel or may feel if you actually find the person that God wants you to be with. And that was just how I felt. And it's one thing to actually feel a certain way, but you must remember that you also have to look at the person with your 2 eyes and ensure that this man is not pretending, is not just trying to be fake or just trying to woo and all of those things, which, as much as I had seen that, I had felt that peace, I still needed to be there with my 2 eyes open so that I would not fall into any form of trap. But we continued talking. He was open, vulnerable, which I really admired. At that point in my life, what I really needed in a relationship, and I didn't even know I needed it, was honesty and transparency. Yeah, that was something I really needed, because I'm a very transparent person. I'm very open. I don't hide anything. So I cannot be with someone that is hiding something, which was it for me that period. Then we got to know each other, we're talking, and I was just overly excited and overly happy. Same as well. Then, he would, you know, he would come when he would bring me food to work in the mornings. He will cook food for me, bring to work so that I can have something to eat. Every day after work, we'll sit down, we would talk, we would eat as well. He would cook for me, bring to work. Like, he was just very intentional, and it was something I really admired, and I didn't know I needed. I didn't have to beg, I didn't have to ask, I didn't have to do anything for him to be all of those to me. But like I said, you still have to stay with your eyes open and look clearly, so that someone will not just come and deceive you and act a certain way and just end up changing. But I think that's the beginning of our friendship. And so it got to a point, we're talking, and we're just being very open with each other. And today he decided to ask me out. He actually did not just ask me out. So we had spoken so much and so wide in like the first week that we're already talking about marriage, talking about the possibility of marriage and all of that happening. And when he asked me he didn't ask me to be his girlfriend. He asked me if I was okay with the idea of marriage with him. Yes, we went straight to marriage. We did not go into dating. Okay, we dated. We didn't just go into, would you be my girlfriend? We just went straight to the point. Marriage. Do you see it possible? Is that what you want? Do you see that happening with me? And I was not shocked. I was not taking. I didn't. It wasn't a shock to me, because of how well we had connected, and I was also on the same page as well. Because I don't even know how, but God had just opened my heart so much that I was just on the same page with him about that during that whole period. Before we even became friends, he asked me if I was open to, a friendship that would lead to something even more. And I was actually very open to it, honestly. Although I thought I was not open to it, but like I said, God just opened my heart and I was open to it. So we went straight to marriage. And he asked me if I was going to marry him. That's so funny. But yeah, I think about a week or so into our talking and communications, he asked me if I was going to marry him. And I said yes. And I said yes. Everything was just right. Just felt right, honestly. These are feelings that I cannot even explain now. But everything just felt right. And because we had already spoken about marriage, did not mean that the whole relationship is guaranteed and it must work and all of that. I had the peace of mind and the peace of God. Oh, my eyes. I had the peace of mind and the peace of God going into that relationship. But my eyes were still very open, looking for red flags, and ensuring that I am doing the right thing. We're doing the right thing. So we still went ahead to date. We did not just say, okay, we're going to go and get married. Because, oh my God, I put my blush in the wrong place. That is not where I put blush. Yeah, so we didn't just go ahead and say, we're going to go get married. We said we actually dated. And we dated for almost 2 years. Yeah, we dated for almost 2 years since we actually decided that we were going to get married. But the difference was that we dated with a lot of intentionality. We knew that we were in for the long term. We knew that we were really in. for the long term. So we're not trying to play games or break up at any silly reason, break up for any silly reason. So I think that's the difference. Yeah, we knew this is what we want, and we understood that there are going to be some challenges, some things that will come up on the way, but it did not mean that, oh, because there are challenges, the relationship will end, and all of those. So I feel like I look like a clown. Ah, but we did not have any of we had a couple of challenges. We had to, get to know each other, talk about some issues, baggages, and all of those, but we were very intentional, and that was something that really just helped us. At no point did you ever feel like, oh, okay, this relationship is going to end, oh, okay, we cannot make it, oh, it's not going to work out, and all of those. Like, in every step of the way, God just kept on confirming that this was the person, this was the person. And there were so many things about him that I had to learn. In fact, there's some things about him that I had seen that on my list was a no. I cannot I cannot be with somebody like this. But meeting him, it was like God just squeezed my list and just like threw it away. That was just how it was. Squeezed the whole list, everything I had written, and just like threw it away. Honestly. And I was okay with that. I had to, accept that, because the person in front of me, the man that he had given me, was more than I could ever ask for. Honestly, when I think of it, it's like I don't even know. It's like, what more can I ask for? What else would I be looking for? I don't even know. But towards while still being in a relationship, at a point we decided, okay, it was time to go and meet my parents. I had told them about him already. This is someone I'm seeing, this is someone I'm serious about. I told them already, but he decided it was time to go meet them personally, introduce himself, that okay, this is who I am, I'm interested in this young lady here, which we did. We traveled. I think that was the first video on this YouTube channel. We traveled back home and we met my parents. Actually went way better than I expected. You can go watch that video. It went way better than I expected it was going to go. That was another confirmation from God, because there's certain things about our relationship that I did not think my parents would be okay with. There were things that I thought, once my parents hear it, they'll be like, no, you cannot marry this man. I just thought my mom would be like, you cannot marry this man. Or my father was like, you cannot marry this man. That's what I thought. But the way it happened, and we decided to be very honest about the whole relationship. We did not hide anything. Went straight up to my parents, told them about our relationship, and they welcomed him with open arms. They welcomed in union with open arms. And this was something that I was having sleepless nights about. Oh, how my parents see this, what would they think, and all those things. But they welcomed him with open arms, and I just felt like that can only be God. That can only be God. God's hand just being in the relationship. I felt that can only be God to do that, because I had to battle. I thought I was going to have to battle with my parents, trying to prove to them that this is who is meant for me, this is who God wants me to be with. But God had already gone ahead of me to go and suit their mind and tell them about him before our coming. Months after that, we now decided it was time to make things very, very official. Official in the sense that he would come with his people, to come and see my people and officially ask for my hand in marriage. And he came with his people, came with his family. I had my family there as well. You guys have seen that vlog. And during the whole process, they also decided that they were going to pay the dowry as well and fulfill the traditional marriage rites, which was what they did. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful event. Now we have wedding planning in front of us, and we don't even know how to start that. But hopefully that will also just fall in place. We believe that, God will also just make a way and make it smooth. But when I look back, I'm just like, how is it that silent prayer that I prayed to God on that very day, or on that very evening, or that date that I made that prayer to God, God answered. God reminded me that no prayer of mine is too small for him. And it is not my will, but his will that will be done. And that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So in everything we do now, we just believe that God's hand is in it, because God has proven himself a lot of times in our lives. So you guys, if my makeup turns out being horrible, ignore it. It's because I'm talking. I'm happy to talk to you. But anyways, now with wedding planning in front of us, we have a number of plans. We have things that we are considering doing. We did not have the orthodox engagement, the whole "will you marry me" type of engagement thing that most people do these days. We did not have that because I I felt like that's not bringing us any closer to our goal, marriage. So I mean, it's cute, but it was not bringing us any closer to our marriage. My biggest intention then was for our families to come together. That's what I really, really wanted, and that was the path that we took. So we went the traditional. When I say traditional, I mean Nigerian type of engagement, by going straight into the family rights and all of those without doing the Western proposal method. And if you ask me, well, we decided to get married years ago, before the whole relationship even started. So would you say I've been engaged since then? I don't really know. I don't really know. So it's a question that I cannot answer. When did you get engaged? I can't answer that, because I mean, I've always known that we're going to get married by the grace of God. I have to add by the grace of God to everything, because it's not by my power. All right, my loves. So that is the story. That was everything. Well, that's a quick summary of what happened and how I have gotten to where I am today. And I'm pretty happy. I made a very very good decision. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want me to have conversations like this, give you guys some gists, just let me know in the comment section. Give my video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and that is it, you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.